All right, we got a round two because what happened was the recording got shut down, and I don't know how much was missed, but we're not going to go over it. We're just going to keep going where we picked up where we left off. And last thing we were talking about, mission and vision. We want to help people to identify their unique talents, dedicate to the Lord's service. We want to rightly train an army of youth to finish the work. In order to do that, the first great lesson of true education is know and understand the will of God. So how to study the Bible, find direction from God through His Word. That's where we're starting. And then next, once you have that foundation, then it's a matter of living your calling. You have direction, you have clarity, you know what God's plan is for your life. Then you go and you live your calling. But as part of living your calling, you need to be able to support yourself financially and to fulfill that work. And it's going to be a lot of tent makers who are finishing the work. That's what we believe. It's not going to be those who are relying on tithes and offerings that are going to herald it to the gospel. It requires every man, woman, and child to herald the truth. So this is kind of like the phases of the Army of Youth. Like, this is a big picture view. This is where we're starting. We've got a big vision, but we're going to be patient, and we're going to do these things in their season. But first, we're starting with how to study the Bible with that foundation.
And we talked about KPI.
We talked about that in the last video.
Okay.
So now the question that really hit home for me was, how does what we're doing contribute to this big picture? This is basically the why, and is like the what. Like the what is irrelevant until you understand the why first. How does this fit to the big picture, and how do we plan on carrying out our mission? What's our strategy? And that's what he was asking about, and it really got me to think, because I realized again that these sentiments are echoing the same sentiments that are in a lot of the gospel soldiers that we're working together with. And we're just like, how can we communicate in a way that our people understand what we're doing, what they're doing, and how it contributes to the big picture? And how do we do it in a way where it's not just information overload, not too granular, not too low level, but it's on a higher level, a strategic level, not the tactics down below, the specifics, details, but whether it's through visual aids or representations or something like that could be pretty helpful to realize, like, hey, this is who we are, where we go, this is where we are, and this is our roadmap. Yes?
I like those brain things that you...
Mind maps?
Yeah, mind maps.
Why do you like the mind maps?
Because that, like, it's like a map of who works where and what gets done, and you know, and you could just like break it down smaller and smaller to go as wide as you want on it, and I like it.
That's what I want to build right now.
Oh, good.
That's exactly why I'm standing here, and I want to build a mind map. Get it out on the mind on the whiteboard, and then put it digitally so we have that resource.
Good.
That's my goal. Praise the Lord. I'm glad we're thinking similar.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, it's nice. But I was thinking also for like an onboarding process to like show them a big picture, just repeat and enlarge, and then kind of go into that.
Well, we have that one the other kind of map that drops down, and then it shows the different departments.
Yeah, like an org chart?
Yeah, the org chart. Yeah. We have that.
Top-down chart.
Yeah, that's very helpful in that aspect.
To view it like this? Like to create a chart like this and that structure? You're talking about one we've already created to use that.
No, I'm talking about the org chart that we have.
Yeah.
It's very helpful to know what different departments we have and who's in charge of them.
But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a big picture of who we are and what we're doing. Not who's doing things. I mean, as an organization, who are we? What do we stand for? What do we not stand for? Where are we going and why are we going there? Yeah. And what are we leaving behind? Who do we attract? Who do we repel? That type of thing. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. As part of the onboarding too, that way there's like communication that people can see what they're doing and how it matters for each of those things. So I made a list. I started a list over here of what we're doing. What are the major things that we're doing? And how could it be easy to forget or like not grasp what these are? And I'm trying to go high level right now. So what are the high level things that we're doing? Right now, we've got a course, Direction from God course. We have the program, the monthly coaching program, group coaching. we have the book, and we don't have it yet, but it's a project that's heavy.
It's a mission.
Yes, and we got the webinar, we've got the events, we've got the Dream 100, and we've got publications.
How's that different from book?
The publications, I was thinking, I look at the book as a publication, but when I think of publication, I think of the quote cards, the videos, the podcasts, the Instagram, the stories, the things like that.
Content machine.
Content machine is creating the publications. And I thought of the content machine afterwards because it was seeing, it was basically like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out the ways to describe it, because instead of publications we could say daily live videos, live cast, and like guest speaking or something. Like we can break, we can call it pillar shows, pillar content, or things like that, where we're identifying like these are the pillar shows, how our content is. I didn't want to use the word content, but I mean that's basically what I was trying to illustrate in the publications. But I know publications people don't really get a whole lot, but maybe like pillar content or pillar shows, or what do you think about that? It's basically our main message of communications, the pillars that everything else like comes out of.
I think we could think of something different, but we'll think of it.
Okay, so that's what that is.
For now.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the content machine is basically anyone who works on that system of repurposing content, producing, repurposing. It's just like the whole content team working together, whether it's quote cards, slides, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And I mentioned an event, I forgot that. So anyways, there's the event, and then Gospel Soldiers, that's like who we are seeking to produce.
Yeah.
That's like that's our community. Like, and this is the thing. I'm not sure if we wanted, like, we probably want to call like our community, like speak of those things as though they were, and call it and give our community a good name that they can live up to, like a reputation to become, to step into this identity. And it's the identity that Christ has us to be gospel soldiers that are ready to go out on the front lines. We're on the field of battle. We know it's going to be rough, but we know we're at a war and we are determined to win because we've linked ourselves up with the one who knows our failure. Mm-hmm. God makes himself responsible for its success. We already, the war is won, and we know that, so we're fearless warriors who turn back from no one. Yeah. So that's like that type of thing is like a gospel soldier. I don't know if that's the result of our training. Like, let's say we have this is not a good example, but let's say we have like where we, oh man, I don't know why I did an A, where we have that, and then they come out, what is the result? Do you understand? Like this is the AOI training, where who is the youth that's coming in through the community, and who is the youth that is leaving the army of youth through exposure and contact training and influence from us. What do they become? And it's like, is this a gospel soldier, or is this a gospel soldier we call them because this is where they're going? See what I'm saying? Do we call our students a gospel soldiers? Do we call our workers a gospel soldiers? Or just the entire community and who they're becoming?
Well, I think that once they join is when they become a soldier in the army. It's just an opportunity for that.
Yeah, it's true. But once they join, like, how do you identify if they join? Because our goal is that they might dedicate their talents to the Lord's service. What is the Lord's service? Like, I I'll identify service here. I was thinking of a word for volunteer, but I didn't want to call it volunteer. So I'm going to call this service, like serve in the Lord in service. But that service I see as not just the army of youth, but it could be serving Christ, the cause of God, anywhere in the world. Although we will have a special training for those who are in the army of youth service, but we want to encourage people to go out and to the uttermost parts of the world and serve wherever they are. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think if we are teaching people how to serve better in their ministry, in their church, in their location, in their fields, then we can have a greater impact in the world by impacting the other organizations and their leaders.
You know what we might want to do is find out what they want to be when they leave, and connect them in the parts that we need here to build them up for when they leave.
I think that's good. I agree. But let's stay on this question. You still think that we should just call the people who we have trained the soldiers?
Once they come in with us, even during training, we should call them soldiers. Because before that, I think it's just an opportunity, and they're not considered a soldier. A soldier would be somebody that does a certain thing. Like, we're soldiers for God, and we're doing. We got a mindset, and in our mindset, it's like, okay, Lord, whatever you want. And they could be doing a ministry out there, and then.
Let me ask you a question. Raphael. Think about Raphael or Ezekiel. Mm-hmm. They are active in the Lord's service. Mm-hmm. They're not active in the army of youth. They haven't gone through our training. But would you not call them a soldier?
Well, I think because the Bible relates that way, I would. But I don't think everybody who's in Christianity work is a soldier.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But the people that we're attracting, I completely agree.
If God is your commander, then you're a soldier. If truly He's your commander.
So then, if God is your commander, then whether they go through a training or not, they'd be a soldier when they believe that they are. And when they accept their identity as thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier for Christ. So it's every rare. Christian is called to be a soldier.
Yeah, but it's rare that they become one.
But part of the reason is, like what we were talking about, is affirming constantly faithful sayings, speaking faith into them, giving them an identity to step into. And that identity shift is what keeps them along with you and very engaged with the training that we have to offer.
Don't you think that's part of the training, though?
Well, yeah, but part of the training we're also providing in the publications, in the drip system, in the pillar. And the pillar content, and it's like in the community. We're providing that training outside too, not just those who are going in through us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's like Ezekiel and Raphael, they haven't gone through our training, like our training, quote unquote, but they're soldiers.
Wow. Seems to me like we have the Navy and we have the Army and we have the Air Force and stuff like that, and we have the Army of Youth.
I don't know. I think the Army of Youth is not an organization, but it is the cause of God, and that God has the Army of Youth. And whether they're with our organization or not. Like, when I look at the Army of Truth, or other Army of Youth, or other ministries that are training young people, I see that we're all in the same army. And I wouldn't say that it's like, you're in that army, we're in that army. Don't they call what?
Call different...
branches?
I don't know, branches. They call them branches, yeah. We're just a branch of Lord's Army.
I think Army is usually like foot soldiers or like on the grounds, at least in America. And then Air Force is from flying above. Marines is like, actually don't know what the difference of the Marines are. The Navy's
Marines
on
are
the water.
On the waves, you know, the beaches.
Really?
And then the Navy's in the ocean.
Really?
I think so. I don't know.
Whoa, that makes sense. Like marine biology and stuff. And when I think of Marines, I think of the water and the land, so that confuses me. But you said it was on the shore, so I'm like, ah. So the Army is like inland.
And then the Navy's outland.
Yeah,
It's
and
like out there.
and the Air Force is all over.
Yeah, up in the sky.
So there's this one guy who gave this analogy, Jesus for Asia. He loves modern publishing. He loves just like recording videos and media. He loves media, but his ministry is like Asia, like reaching the Asian countries. And so they got schools, they got on the grounds, they got like foot soldiers and stuff. So he's like, at his camp meeting, he said, the way I look at it is modern publishing is the Air Force. They are able to go far and wide through the airwaves, and they're able to get some serious grounds, but they cannot occupy. And that's where you have the missionaries that go overseas, who have overseas missions. They are the foot soldiers, they are the infantry, they are the army, they occupy. See what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting
Yeah.
analogy. But yeah, but I realized that in this process, well, I don't know. I think that, well, either way, we have to give our community a name. We have to give them a name that they can look for. They could become. Before I erase this, I'm gonna take a picture.
Do you want some water in it?
I've got lots of water. So, all right, let's look. Is there something that we're missing here? And so we got to gospel soldiers, and is there another like a big project, big responsibility, big thing that we're doing that is
Well, we used to do Bible studies a lot, intensely.
Bible studies with people?
Yeah.
Yes. But I realized that the manpower to do that is intense. And rather than facilitating doing that and training people how to do that right now, it would probably be better to do group training and create content that will study with people, because it's more far reaching. Like it goes wide. It doesn't go as deep, but it goes wide. And with that wide, and you have a value ladder, you can go deep individually with people, but it's all at scale. While when you're going deep with individuals, you're very limited on how you're doing that. Does that make sense? So I realized that the value ladder is what's allowing us to go deep with some people, and choosing and letting them self-select themselves, and letting them decide how deep, how far they want to be with us, and our time and our involvement, our commitment, and our investment in them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what that's the new approach that I'm taking. That's why I'm not doing as many like Bible studies one-on-one with a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not really like pushing and like teaching people like, yeah, do all these one-on-one Bible studies with all these different people. And it's like I would still like encourage people that those are going to be life-changing. That's how you go really deep with few people.
What about the videos?
The content machine and publications.
Yeah. Seems like we don't do videos as often as we used to.
What videos?
Remember we used to do a video every day, and we talked about it.
That's what the daily life videos are. I do the videos, it's just I'm not like taking everybody's time, because if we got 5 people doing one videos, it's 5 hours to do a video. So instead what I'm doing is I'm doing that portion, because what's going on is at headquarters we have different responsibilities. What we were doing before with the live video squad is we were basically doing the content machine in-house, but much of the content machine can be done outsourced to our virtual team, and the people there are able to take that video, transcribe, are able to quote it, are able to create quote cards, are able to broadcast and stream and redistribute on different platforms. So my goal, because what I learned for the Live Video Squad could be live, that could be virtual too, but my goal is that I realize that a lot of us here there's some things that only we can do. So to fill all your schedules of the Content Machine is challenging. Really the only other person that we need here is someone to run the switcher. And with that, then putting it on the Content Machine, then from here, the virtual team could take care of it.
We need to train people outside too, not just inside.
What do you mean outside, inside?
Because like we need to train people who come like Natty and Susie and Brunilda and
Oh.
stuff like that. People
Yeah, our team.
outside of us, outside of here,
Yeah, virtual.
remotely.
Virtual. So our virtual team, which is the service. As people serve, we're providing them mentorship through volunteer. That's what this is mentorship / volunteer / service. That's virtual. So that's what we got there. Is there something else that we're doing?
I think we got it.
You think we got it? What are the tools that we have to communicate what we're doing?
We go to a lot of camp meetings and stuff. Is that like in there somehow?
Do we go to a lot of camp meetings?
Yes, we do. Every year we spend at least 5 weeks away from here, taking care of business.
Every year?
Every year, at least. I would say more.
What would you call that? Event ambassadors?
I guess, yeah.
That's what we called it before.
Yeah. You got event up there already.
Yeah, but this is a different kind of event. So this is like hosting events. Event hosting. And the other is event attending. It's being ambassadors at events, representing. An ambassador is connected with our brand metaphor, right? Okay, so how do we display this? So you're saying begin with the end in mind, and the end is basically the training. Is that right? So how do we plan on helping them identify their talents, find direction from God, and dedicate to Lord's service? And we plan on doing that through coaching and courses, right?
Mm-hmm. And mentorship.
Coaching is mentorship.
Yeah, coaching is.
And through service.
Yes.
Which is like mentorship, is discipling and helping them go up the ranks. So I'm not sure how to write that, to be honest. This is where my mind kind of struggles. So I'll say course.
Well, maybe if we, because there's different levels of soldiers.
Different ranks.
Yeah, different ranks, and if we put something there, and then we could like sprout out from there, that course would be part of it.
What do you mean?
Because there's the course and there's the and that's just what we have right now. The course, and we have the membership. We should write down our ladder.
The value ladder?
Yeah. And we're gonna have an event, although we don't have an event right now, and so those could be things that spring out off of there, and then have the web come off of each one of those, because the course is what we're focusing on right now, but we need to look at something that will be lasting.
What do you mean something that would be lasting?
Because we're focusing heavy duty on the course right now.
I see the course as being something lasting.
I know it is, but our work is toward the course right now, and then our focus was on the program. Now it's on the course, and it's going to change again. It's going to go to the 100, Dream 100, and then it's going to change again. And so every time that it changes, it's like a little bubble of itself.
Well, you're talking about what I want to do is not talking about things that are changing, but I want to talk about how each of those changes contribute to the big picture. What I want to do is not shift.
What is
I want to add a bubble and show where it's going.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
I know, but the course isn't the main.
It is.
Okay.
The course is what started the Army of Youth. We started with courses.
Right.
Seeing that through an online course could drastically transform their experience. Right? It was actually through Jump Cut where I got this, where I began to understand and start dreaming about the Army of Youth, is creating a course. So, in creating the course, we have the program. We started the program so that we can have a baseline for curriculum. So this could go to course. And we have I don't know. How do we communicate this, Mom?
I think what that course bubble should be is a soldier. I think that should be their soldier.
Well,
and then through the soldiers, you could make a course and you can make a program.
With the soldiers,
you
make
could
a
do the
course and a
content
program.
machine. Look at that list that you have right there.
Yeah, I want to bubble for all those.
And see how you would bubble that out.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Where would you bubble a soldier? The soldier's what we're creating. That's our number one goal.
Should we do a flow chart, or should we do like just surrounded around the center? Would a flow chart be easier?
Yeah, let's see what that looks like, and if it's not, we'll switch it over. And maybe if we make this flow chart, it'll be easier to make that. And that'll help us to be able to make those easier next time.
So if we're looking here, what if we numbered these?
Okay.
We numbered them in their order. What's the first step?
I think what we're trying overall to do is make gospel soldiers.
No, the first step. That's the end. So we got, yes.
That's our dream.
That is our end result, yes. But what is our first step for getting there? What I'm thinking is probably...
I think you're going backwards on it.
Well, we're doing a flow chart, so this isn't chronological. This is showing, like, we begin with the end saying, like, yeah, this is how we want to accomplish that, but as far as depicting it, we need to show the journey. We're mapping the journey for people. It's basically displaying that.
I think identifying their talents and the stuff over there, the mission and the vision would be the first.
They can't be the first. This is the end result. This is the end, not the first.
When they identify their talents and they get dedicated to God and learn how to read the Bible, then we could rightly train them.
Mom, this is the why. This is the vision. This is the brand ideal. This is the world we are trying to create. This is something that is so big it will never like fully come to fruition, but it is something we are working towards. It's an ideal that we're doing. This is the why. This is the strategy of how that gets done.
Okay.
So this is the end result. This is where we're going. This is our future-based cause. All
right.
Does that make more sense?
No. How do you end at identifying talents?
That's
after everything they learn.
That's everything. Where all of this, every single one of these is so that they can identify their talents. This is their unique, because it's like service is taste and see that the Lord is good. You're trying, you're serving, you're using what you have, you're growing. And then speaking is helping them to have aha moments, changing their minds, and awakening an interest in our product, in our program and course, that they can go deep dive into step by step to identify their unique talents. And through this course, we're producing gospel soldiers. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So what comes first is publications, Dream 100, speaking, probably a webinar. Webinar and book is 2. You think the content machine is 2?
No, I think it's 1.
Okay. Because it's along there with the publications.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the content machine would have to be 2, because if this is the pillar content that's being published, then the content machine is repurposing it. So it would be a step after the pillar content.
Okay.
So then 3 is with them going into service. They see our content, they want to get involved. Let's go through our course. Is that attending our event? Would that be a 3rd or would that be a 4th?
Yeah, that would be a 4th.
Or it might be a 3rd because they might be at an event where they learn about our course and program.
Yeah.
Right? And it might be through the course where they learn about the event. So probably a 3rd.
So then event ambassador would be 3 too.
Oh, because they're part of service?
Yeah.
And then gospel soldiers is the end result. That's 4. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the gospel soldier is this. A person who's living this life. What do you think about that?
I think that's nice. That's good. We'll make a bubble out of it.
But when we have a bubble, how would we display that?
Let's try. Let's try to display it. What do you think should be number 1? The first bubble.
Okay. All right.
Can we try working backwards first and then we'll go forward next?
Well, number 1 would make a lot more sense to show, like, we have to have a show, and then we can have Dream 100 be on our show, and we could speak on Dream 100s, and have the content machine repurpose it, and from there we can send people.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure where to put the bubbles at.
What if you did the mind map, like if you took the ones and you put it like this, you put 1 and then you went like this to the next one, and then the other one you went like that to whatever would make sense.
Okay.
And then 2 and then 3 like that.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'd have to drop down to something. I don't know.
So basically, like the essential contact roadmap.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like the essential contact roadmap.
Because that bubble thing's not working.
What bubble thing?
That
So, well, we got, how many
We
is
have
these?
more than one.
2,
one.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 things.
Did you want to use a red pen too?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We have, what do we say, publications? So modern publishing. So we got publishing. And then from our publishing, we have,
Looks like if we do it that way, because we got books and courses and programs.
what about we have books and
Those are
courses?
publishing.
No, it's not the same. This is the pillar content. It's right here, publications. And this is our drip system. So when we got this, we can either go down to content machine. So we got content machine, which is the leaves of autumn. And then we have Dream 100. And the Dream 100 goes into, where is it speaking at? What does this look like? Is speaking after the Dream 100?
Yeah, because you're gonna speak to the Dream 100s.
You know what I see? I see like two phases here. I see that there is a process for the Army of Youth that we go through, and there's a process that the Gospel Soldier goes through, and they're reversed. They're like opposite, because the soldier sees the publishing and goes through, maybe learns about us from Dream 100 and comes through, and it like comes down through there. That's their path. But like the way that we do things is we start with the program. The program becomes a course. The program has and the program determines our content, and then the content attracts a Dream 100, and Dream 100 allows platforms to speak. And you see what I'm saying? So speaking would be like lower in our process, but that might be the very first of how to get our avatar's attention. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That's where we net them, we hook them.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? It almost seems like in this war, in this Army of Youth metaphor, the whole thing we're doing is a rescue mission. It's like
Rescue the perishing.
rescue the ransom and ransom. Rescue the perishing. Like we are going into enemy territory, and we are taking them from the grasp of Satan. We are uncutting their chains, and that binds them, and that just has them trapped, and we're letting the prisoners go free. And we're training prisoners to go to rescue more prisoners of war. We can look at sin as a prison. Isn't that kind of cool?
It is a prison.
It is a prison. But did you get what I was saying about how like ours and theirs is like different? So we kind of have to like map out their experience, or should we map out ours? Because this is kind of like internal communication. See like where do you fit in the big picture?
What if we look at what they have to go through in order to get here, what's most effective for them, And then we could work backwards from that.
You're saying what they have to get here, what's effective for them. What does that look like?
Well, like you said, they'd have to like go to an event and hear. They have to hear about it first to get involved, and then when they get involved, they could do that through a book, a course, or a program, right? Or a webinar. The event, webinar, book, program, and course. So event, webinar, and speaking. All three of those could be how they get in.
So we're basically looking at the essential contact roadmap. We could do this.
What's that noise?
I don't know. All right, I got a new plan. Let's just use a framework that's not reinvent the wheel. So you know what we got here? We have attention.
Attention.
Attention. What we've got is we've got speaking,
Webinar.
no. We've got speaking, ads.
Oh,
We have Dream 100.
that's how to capture them.
Yeah. And we have Content Machine. Which is, maybe that could be synonymous with our pillar content. Does that sound good? So we've got that. Is there anything that I missed on number 1? Should it be events? Event ambassador, event stuff like that?
Yeah.
I don't have room for it.
Or I don't know. Because first we have to catch their attention, and then underneath events would be.
It's the engagement. It's something they opt in. It's a lead magnet. So that would be. This would be engage.
It's like setting out the net, and then now we need to engage. Yes.
So this would be.
Like webinar.
Yes.
Book.
Webinar. Book.
And even Content Machine.
No, it wouldn't be Content Machine. Book, webinar,
Event.
lead magnet. I don't think it's a lead. I don't think it's an event, Mom.
No. Engage. I know we invite them to events, but I'm sure people are going to invite people to events, and we'll meet them there. About the course and the program.
I guess the next thing is a funnel. All of these things go to a funnel, right?
Yeah. And all those could go to the webinar, the book, or the lead magnet. Oh, looks like a net.
Okay, it does look like a net. So then they go through a funnel, and from the funnel, they learn about. This is where our products and services come to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a course.
You know how to make that without it looking like that?
Like a net?
Yeah.
How?
I'll draw it over here while you're doing that over there.
Yeah, but how do you do it when there's multiple?
Like that.
No,
Like a bullseye.
no. Like this. How do you do it when that's not there?
No, that's why you put it there.
No, how do you do it?
You put a bullseye there. Because they all lead to the same place.
But they don't all lead to the same place.
Where do they?
Those lead to different places. The speaking goes to a book or lead magnet. The ads would go to a book, webinar, or lead magnet. But the speaking wouldn't always go to the same place. And how do you describe all that in one place?
Okay. I didn't catch that. So
So from this service, then they learn about our events. Event hosting. Should we have a funnel to an event? Or should we put an event here and then gospel soldiers? Or should we put gospel soldiers here and event here?
to put where?
Should we put event here or should we put event here? Should we put gospel workers here or should we put gospel workers here?
Hold on a sec. All of them have the opportunity for the event to go to the event. So I would put the event underneath there.
Up here?
No, down below.
Why?
Because
But wouldn't they have an opportunity? They wouldn't have an opportunity from there to attend the event?
from a funnel, funnel can do everything.
No, I'm saying from up here.
Oh. No, because that's our hook to get them in.
Okay. That's our engagement?
Yeah.
So it's after they've gone through something like this, they attend the event.
Yeah, so I would erase that E over there.
So is it through the event that we will be transforming their lives? Is it through the event that
Yes.
we're pumping out the gospel soldiers?
Well, I don't know. Where's the course at?
Course is right here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Program's here.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was saying it's like the course is where I see people are going to be able to experience that, but maybe we got to pivot. Maybe it's not the course is not the end result. Maybe we can change their lives more through an event than a course. What do you think about that?
What does lead magnet mean again?
A lead magnet is something we give them for free in exchange for their email. Something that they opt in. They get to our list so we can
get
follow
that
up with
from the
them.
Speaking, right?
Huh?
They
They get a
that
lead
with-
magnet from all those attention grabbers up there. They get a lead magnet from an ad, from Dream 100, from Content Machine, and from Speaking.
Okay. Where do they get a book? They get a book from Speaking, ads, and what else?
The Content Machine.
Where do they get a lead magnet from all of them?
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Webinar.
Webinar. Where would they get that at?
From everything except for Speaking. I'm not going to go from Speaking to another webinar.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
Hmm?
It does?
Yeah.
Why are you looking over there? I'm asking if this one makes sense.
Because I already saw it.
Does it not make sense?
Yeah.
Did
It does,
we-
except for that top. It looks kind of funny.
So how do I make the top fit?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out right here. So if we had Speaking. And what was the
I think it won't look funny on the computer. I think it'll look
you
normal on the
don't?
screen. Nope, I have a way to make it look normal on the screen.
Oh. Okay, let's see.
Does this make sense for things?
Yeah. That looks, it does except for the top, the little lines from the top.
Do you think it'll help clarify to people what we're doing and why?
I think so.
And this is all with the direction from God right now.
L and W.
That's good. And I think we got this covered. We could probably stop the recording.